guys, it's Gary from Screams and Thrills Reviews. We're here today at Alton Towers Resort to see what the latest update is on Nemesis, and also just to see what updates there is on Scarefest as well. It's going to be a quick day, so let's get on in there. So a nice quick bag search. It seems quite a quiet day today, so let's see what rides we can get on and see what else we can see around. Today is classed as an off-peak day, so it's unfortunately a 4 o'clock finish. There's no event today. Oktoberfest is finished, although there is still some theming out for Oktoberfest. So we're just going to pop into the box office, get a photo pass, and see where the day leads us. Okay, so our first ride of the day is going to be Spinball Wizard. So that was a fun first ride on Spinball Wizard. Now let's go and have a quick look at Daz Games Panic, see what progress we're making on that. So Daz Games Panic takes place in the hospitality suite. As you can see, there's nice big hoardings up advertising it, QR code that you can scan. I'll hold that and you can try and scan that on screen if you want. Not really much you can see because of the hoarding. We've got some new additions here as well with some permanent lighting in place for Scarefest. Hopefully we see some themed lighting. Next up we have the Invitation making a return for 2023. Slight difference in some of the theming and some of the entrances and exits. So hopefully they've changed it up a little bit, because if I'm honest, last season wasn't brilliant. We've also got the return of the generator lighting as well. So next up we're going over to Dark Forest to have a go on 13 and Rita, two of our favourite rides here. So the next little update we've got is on Darkest Depths, which is now starting to take full shape with the fencing tucked down and the entrance now on show. I'll just spin the camera around and show you that. So now you can see Darkest Depths is almost ready to receive its first visitors. Nothing really has changed on the outside. Unfortunately, we won't be attending Scarefest this year because we're doing Fright Nights twice this year. Like I say, we won't be attending Scarefest this year. We're doing Fright Nights at Thorpe twice this year. To be honest, we're not really impressed with Alton's lineup for this year for Scarefest. They really need to change things. They say that they've got 2 new attractions in the form of Daz Games Panic and a new Altonville mine to a Tiny's Revenge, which, to be fair, in our opinion, it's just a redo of the Altonville mine tours. That's all it is. It's still the same kind of storyline. It's still the same type of characters. They need something new. They need something a lot more immersive. Now, the Invitation, that was a Darkfield audio experience last year. I believe it's still done by Darkfield this year, but they're on about the way it's looking. It looks like it's been changed up a bit. I've heard rumours that it's supposed to have a bit of a scare maze type ending to it. Okay, so unfortunately we've just got down to 13 now. That Rita's just gone over the top of me. We've just found that 13 is actually closed at the moment, so we'll pop back a bit later, see if it reopens. Keep an eye on the app. But let's go for a ride on Rita. So we're going to go for a ride on Rita next. It's an intimate launch coaster going 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, I believe. So let's go and see how this goes. So we've just been on for a ride on Rita. That was just as fast as I remember it. Still doesn't beat Stealth at Thorpe, but does pack a punch. Okay, so we're going to go and head over to the world of David Walliams to have a go on Flavio's Fabulous Fandango. 2 reasons why we're going to go on this. 1, it's a fun twister ride. And 2, we're with 3 of our good friends who works on fun fairs. And let's see what their take on Alton Towers running fun fair rides is. So we've had our spin on Flavio's Fabulous Fandango, a little temporary sizzler ride that was introduced quite a few years back now, but still seems to be a staple of the David Walliams world. So we're going to go and head over to X Sector next and have a go on the rides over there. As I pass, I will try and have a quick look at the Altonville Mine Tours, which is the last part of Scarefest. We've also got tickets booked for the dungeons as well, which is always a fun little break from the rides. We're booked in at that at 3:30, so once we head over to there, I'll give you our thoughts when we come out of it. As with previous years, there seems to be themed, or at least coloured lighting in place to shine up the towers, which is always nice to see. It's just a shame they don't do more with the towers for Scarefest. So the last stop on our Scarefest update is Altonville Mine Tours. This has been updated for the 2023 season. It's now called Altonville Mine Tours Tiny's Revenge. Not overly too different, I suppose. It's still the Skin Snatchers in a sense. It's just based around one particular character. So let's see what we can see. So unfortunately you can't really get too close to it. It's fenced off a lot more than what it normally is. But I will zoom in, you can see what there is. Yet again, there is the return of themed lighting, and we've also got the speakers out ready for the audio. Let's have a little walk up towards where the queue line is, see if we can see anything from there. But if I'm honest, I don't think we're going to be able to see too much, if I'm honest, because it's usually set quite far. It's set in the bottom part of the towers, so you can't really access it that well, to be honest. But we've got the speakers out just there. But again, like I said, you can't really get down to it. So that's the end of the Scarefest updates. Again, like I said, there's not much to really see for Scarefest for Alton. Not like there is for Thorpe Park. Alton, you really need to start upping your game. There's Trick or Treat Town near the dungeons, which I'll show you when we go over to the dungeons. But other than that, the only other updates that I'm going to try and get, time permitting, is any updates on Nemesis, because I've heard there's quite a lot of work being done on the entrance and also the station building, and also, as we've seen released in newspaper for Stoke Sentinel, there has been trains delivered on site which have been updated, so we'll see if we can catch a glimpse of those. I'm not too sure whether we will or not, but I will drop in some photos of the trains now so you can see what they look like. There's a nice red and black design on them, and they look very similar to the old ones, to be honest, so there is a bit of a question whether they're new or whether they're just refurbished. But once we head over that way, we'll have a quick look, see what we can see. But first of all, let's go and get some rides on the Smiler and Oblivion, and maybe the two funfair rides over here. First up, we're going to go on the Smiler and get our ride on there. We have to get on the Smiler every time we come. So we just came off a ride on the Smiler, running just as smoothly as ever. Thankfully, didn't break down this time, like it did back in, I think it was April. I think we were on it and it broke down on the halfway point. So it wasn't the Smiler, it was the SME, as we called it. But it's running very, very good today. Weather's starting to take a little bit of a turn. It's starting to drizzle now, but it's not going to stop us. We're going to head over to Oblivion next and have a drop into the unknown. So we've just been for a drop on Oblivion. That's a fun little ride. It's really short, but it packs a punch. Next up is a ride on Spin Jam, another Retro Squad ride. So we've just had a ride on Tristatron. It's nowhere near as intense as it was at the beginning of the season. It really isn't. Alton Towers, you need to get rid of these funfair rides, or at least run them properly. Compared to on a fairground, these are abysmal. We need some proper flat rides in this place now. 3 years of Retro Squad, it's had its time. It needs to be changed, I think. Need some new flat rides introduced and properly themed to the area. Retro Squad was good for the first couple of years, just to get people going again after COVID, but now it's just dragging on. So to say we got here at 12:20, It is now 20 past 2. We've been here about 2 hours and we've done 7 rides already, which is pretty good going. So it does pay off to come on a quiet weekday. To be honest, we have been using Silver Fast Track as well, which gives you one-shot fast track on all of the main roller coasters. But to be honest, the longest queue time we've seen is about 20 minutes. Usually they've been about 5-10 minutes for the smaller flat rides. So it does pay to come during what's classed as an off-peak time. Like I said, today is not an event day, so that makes it a bit quieter as well. Oktoberfest has now finished, and they're preparing for Scarefest now, which opens this week, I believe, or next week, one of the two. I will find out the details and I will drop a message on this screen to give you the exact dates. The weather has taken a bit of a turn now. It's now starting to rain a bit more, but it's not letting us spoil our day. We're now going to head over towards Wickerman and get a ride on the 2018 wooden roller coaster for Alton Towers. It's a great little ride, one of my favourites here. So let's go for a ride on Wickerman. So we've just been for a ride on Wickerman. That is running really quick today. Really quick. It's good to see the smoke effects working on it again. Unfortunately, the flames aren't working on the Wickerman statue itself. Only the electronic screen ones are. But the actual fire effect isn't, which is a bit of a shame. But the smoke effect's working fine in all the tunnels. The smell pods are really on point. That is really, really good. One of my favourite rides here, and it's just running really well today. It seems to get quicker as the day goes on. So I would recommend, if you ever came to Alton Towers, to go on Wickerman towards the end of the day, because it gets really quick. So we're going to go for a ride on Curse at Alton Manor.
You are?
This is one of the dark rides at Alton. It's been rethemed from Duel. It's marginally better than Duel. It's great that they got rid of the interactive part of it. As always, themed actors out, wandering around the area. Hopefully they do a bit more with this for Scarefest. So we just came off the Curse at Alton Manor. It's still not, to me, really complete. There's more that can still be done with it. Still lots of dark areas. Some effects not really working properly. The pre-show wasn't really working either, to be honest. The doll's house wasn't working. The audio was working, but just not the doll's house, which is a bit of a shame. Unless that's because it's an off-peak day, who knows. But it was only a 5-minute queue, so we're off to Subterra next. Give that a go and see where the day takes us. So here we are in the queue line for Nemesis Subterra. It's only a 10-minute wait, so hopefully it's a quick loading. I'll try and get a quick look after this, time dependent, on the Nemesis observation platform and see if there's anything we can see from there that's updated. So we've just came off Nemesis Subterra. It's getting better as the season goes on, if I'm honest. There's a lot of effects are starting to work better in there now. The drop tower part with the effects in there, that's a lot better than what it was. There's a bit more urgency as well on the exit, which is good. You've now got also an actor following you into the lifts, urging you to get into the lifts, telling you to get in. And then on the exit as well, you've also got an actor coming around, telling you, rushing you to get you out. And you've now also got an actor as well behind the cage who is in a bit of a biohazard suit, but it looks like they've been semi-infected, I would say. Not fully infected, but semi-infected. We're going to head over to Galactica now for a ride on there. So we're down here near Nemesis. Let's have a quick look to see if we can see any differences. There's supposed to be work being done on the entrance and also into the station building. Unfortunately, a lot of the openings in the gates, they've now covered up with a piece of tarpaulin, which makes it very difficult to see inside now. So yeah, not much to see really. I've got a quick video, but not much.
Here we are.
So we just came off Galactica. To be fair, they need to start doing something with that ride. The theming, it's just not Galactica anymore. It's air. It's basically back to air. They need to re-theme it. And to be honest, with the Nemesis retrack, I have a feeling that that may come in the near future. But there's bits of theming being pulled off all over the place, if I'm honest. There's stickers falling off. You stand in the main queue line, you look up at the building, and it's just stickers coming off all over. There's no shop anymore. They need to re-theme it. I would like to give a big shout out to Emily in guest services, who very kindly, we had Silver Fast Track today, as I've already mentioned. However, 13 was shut all day due to the rain. So we visited guest services, well, the guest services hub in Forbidden Valley to be precise. And Emily very kindly offered us either £8 per person to spend in the shop or a fast track each to use on our next visit. Which we chose the fast track for our next visit, which it was very kind of her. And also we had dungeon tickets booked, which I mentioned as well, but unfortunately we didn't get to make it in there due to unforeseen circumstances, which she again very kindly refunded us that money as well. So a big shout out to Emily in guest services. That was very, very good customer service from her. So Alton Towers, if you're watching this, pass that on. So that wraps up our day here at Alton Towers. Didn't really get much of a Nemesis update, but then there's not really much to see at the moment. They've blocked off quite a lot of the viewing areas that you can see apart from the observation platform, but time was against us a bit, so I didn't get to go up there, unfortunately. But if you've enjoyed this little vlog, please like, comment and subscribe and share. Thank you.